And so we're getting ourselves under starters' orders to lead the pre-grid for the final race before the superheats. It is Heat 3, Seniors A versus C. And a very competitive group of drivers venture out onto the circuit, which includes an FIA Karting European champion at gearbox level, Marijn Kramers in the field. Alex Machado versus Zadie of Rijkaard, teammates on the front row from Putra Adam and Travis Teoh. Then Jamie Ambrose and Ethan Cito. There is Marijn Kramers, P7, alongside Garrow the Arrow, Conrad Garrow in P8. Rounding out the top 10, Rafael Kamalis alongside Seshan Gunasekara. Then Jerry G is beside Riley Curry of Biralat Asia. 13th on the grid for Andy Burrett of CRG Thailand. Norris Kafour is next up for Singapore. Then Melvin Shane beside Issa Modfouad. Then to complete the grid, we have Li Wei Chen and Jenny Bibine. A fabulous battle awaits us here as we get ourselves into a very strong effort. The competitors are looking forward to a very exciting showcase. All of the drivers know exactly how tricky the battle is set to be from here on out. But it's very unpredictable indeed. Alex Machado's definitely won both of his previous heats, but that doesn't mean that a third one is guaranteed. So as the drivers get themselves up to speed, warming up the tyres and brakes to the optimum temperature, just hoping they can get themselves into the rhythm and the flow. We've already seen a pretty dramatic start to the day in heat number 3 for Seniors B versus D. A versus C is also likely to be a very tricky one. Got to remember that all of the surface rubber that was laid down over the last few days has now been completely washed out by the rain showers that we've had over the last few days. The last one we had was last night, and it was a pretty big one, to be fair. So now we're going to get to see what these contenders can give us in the last of our Senior X30 races. Heat 3, A versus C. Both wins in the previous heats for Alex Machado. So expect more tough racing from the Andorran. Drivers getting themselves into their 2 tram lines shortly. And we'll hope for a clean start right from the outset. We don't want to be spending too long getting these races underway. We're already getting ourselves excited for the prospect of the finals later this afternoon. All 4 races will give us a new contender for the IAME Warriors final at Viterbo, just outside the city of Rome in Italy in October. A big opportunity for these contenders to put on a great show. So the 18 drivers in this particular field, 19 from the previous set. That means that we'll only have 1 driver failing to make the final. But it's certainly going to be tricky to know who that driver is going to be that misses out. Conrad Garrow just having to make a slight adjustment there to his glove. Not quite sure what happened there with the Singaporean, but fortunately the Rad Racing driver now back in position on that 4th row, ready to go side by side with a former European gearbox champion. Amazing opportunity for Conrad Garrow, still a newbie in Senior X30, going head to head with one of the greatest gearbox drivers of his generation. Under starters orders then, and Alex Machado gets away from Zadie of Rijkaard. A little bit of nudging as we go to the first corner from Putra Adam. Adam trying to get his way past the 2 Paralins, but Zadie of Rijkaard has made the perfect start to get into 2nd position behind Machado, and Putra Adam up the inside to keep his position. A little bit of nudging as the drivers work their way through in the opening sector of the race, but it's perfect for Machado in front of Rijkaard and Adam, and there's contact further back. One of the fireballs goes sideways and up in the air. That is a disastrous start for Norris Kafour, I believe. So not the way he wanted to return to karting, having been an F4 driver in the past, of course, as well. And diving up the inside, that's one of the Birolats. Marijn Kramers going wheel to wheel there with a very determined Ethan Cito. And Kramers finishes off the move in the chicane. So Marijn Kramers continues making his progress here at LYL. Up the crest, and Alex Machado looking very hungry indeed to make this 3 from 3. But further back, this is Putra Adam versus Travis Teoh. 2 very talented and passionate Malaysians who have grown up together in the karting world and have faced each other time and time again. And they are going to go to battle once more here at LYL in the last heat before the super heats in the IAME Asia Pacific Games. Dive up the inside. No, not this time from Travis Teoh. He's going to wait for his moment. Putra Adam still controls the pace and the inside line for the moment. Travis Teoh looking for his opportunity. Not yet. He'll give himself a tiny bit of breathing space up to the apex of the left-hander, then back on the power. You can keep it flat through this radius and then down the short stretch up to the hairpin. But it's Machado, Raikal, Adam, Teoh, Kramer, Sito, Ambrose, Garrow, Kamal, and Curry. Sashan Gunasekara, 11th in front of Andy Barrett. Big slide there from Putra Adam. What on earth Maureen Kramers thought he was doing, challenging Travis Teoh from that far back. Goodness me, that shows you the kind of skill he's got. Oh, and there's problems as there's more duels going up the hill. As Norris Gafour has an investigation for contact, and we got yellow flags after the problem that we saw there in the chicane, as Jerry G is the one who falls down the order. So Jerry G has now dropped out of the fray. Machado, Raikal, Adam, Kramers, Teoh, and Sito. Kramers making the move then on Travis Teoh, and look at him charging up behind Putra Adam. They're not teammates, but they are in the same chassis, both in Birolats. There's Conrad Garrow dueling away with Riley Curry. Singaporean versus Australian. Conrad Garrow trying to make his move on the inside line, and that will do from Garrow the Arrow. Beautiful job from the Rad Racing Tony Kart star. On to the back straight. We've still got Sito, Ambrose, and Kamal trying to chase after the top 5. Kramers is catching up to Putra Adam very quickly indeed. They've definitely made some positive changes to the setup for the Dutchman. And now he's going to make his bid on the inside. What a challenge from Maureen Kramers. He'll make overtaking moves no one else would even dare. Down the hill, into the bridge turn. Thank you. Maureen Kramers pulling off the moves no one would ever risk. And he's making it stick. Well, that's what all his experience is all about. You don't play half-heartedly if you want to win races at this level. You go in and you go hard. So that's Maureen Kramers up in a 3rd position behind Machado and Raikal. And then Putra Adam, Travis Teoh closing up again on Putra Adam. So these two Malaysians will once again duel for position, going wheel to wheel. And they've got Ethan Sito not too far away in P6. Down the back straight. And Maureen Kramers is just driving away from Putra Adam and Travis Teoh. All of his experience really counting in the early morning phase of this race. But Zariev Raikal could really use a boost now. If he can close up and pass his teammate Alex Machado, then he's got a chance of a better position for the Superheats. And he could really use the opportunity if it comes his way. We're going to be in for a crazy final for the Senior X30 drivers. There'll be 36 of them, all lining up on the same grid. 40 original entries, that's why we split to the grids, but 37 of them showed up. And rather than ask one driver to concede, we actually decided to split them up into the groups. So now Machado, Raikal, Kramers, Adam, Teoh, and Sito. Ethan Sito really starting to ramp up the temperature. You've got 3 star Malaysians very close together. Putra Adam, Travis Teoh, Ethan Sito, all squabbling over 4th place. Putra Adam and Travis Teoh, who have been long-time nemesis of each other, having a great race together. And then the new pretender to the crown, Ethan Sito, still only in his 2nd season as a Senior X30 driver. Very much a hobbyist, an aspirant engineer. Really enjoying driving in karts. It certainly helps him on his academia. And a very impressive young star in the making. So still they battle on. Machado, Raikal, Kramers, Adam, Teoh, and Sito. Here comes the bid on the inside from Teoh. Slams in on Putra Adam and leaves him no room. Adam wants instant revenge, tries to get the move on the inside. There's not enough room to get the kart alongside. And so Travis Teoh's move is successful. Putra Adam will be absolutely raving mad about it. But that's the way you've got to make an overtake. If you want to get through on the inside line, you've got to be ruthless. And now Ethan Sito's going to try and get his bid on Travis Teoh. They're both going to drift a little bit wide. So Sito's going to try and make his impression. And as they squabble, Putra Adam closes in, bringing Rafael Kamal and Jamie Ambrose along for the roller coaster ride. Up the crest, around to the left. Teoh still trying to get his move on the inside of Travis Teoh. Up over the top of the crest, down the drop. Still no big move coming in. But Teoh really fancies his chances here on Travis Teoh, as Machado still runs about half a second clear of Zadia Vrykal. Down to 3/10 though. Moran Kramers is third. Then Teoh, and Adam. You can see how close Vrykal is now to Machado. Here comes the bit on the inside line. Oh, big savage move from Kamal. And he strikes the side of Putra Adam's side pods. And that's allowed Jamie Ambrose the move to get through. And now Putra Adam is absolutely on the defensive. Holds the inside line to ransom as Jamie Ambrose tries to get the switcheroo. Adam pulls across. Come on! Stop defending! Jamie Ambrose is getting angry now. Ambrose is shaking his fists at Putra Adam. What are you doing? We could still catch up to the top 5. Stop parking the bus. So Jamie Ambrose wants vengeance now on Putra Adam for holding him up under the bridge. And he's got big pressure now because here's Kamal, Garrow, and Curry. That's why he's getting angry with Putra Adam, because he's now got 3 opponents right on his bumper. So Jamie Ambrose trying his best to find the move. Putra Adams is just blocking everywhere he goes. No chance are you going to get through, Sunshine. Jamie Ambrose knuckles down and says, right, I'll find something even better to come at you. 3 laps to go. There's Teoh and Teoh. Look back. Ambrose tries on Adam, who again blocks. Kamal comes to the inside line, side by side with Ambrose. Ambrose shuts the door. Garrow gets up the inside of Kamal and squeezes through. So Garrow now protects to the inside. Almost hits the other kart in front of him of Jamie Ambrose. The 2 Tony karts almost strike each other. This is getting absolutely messy in the fight for 6th position. Big defense from Rafael Kamal as Riley Curry now tank slaps it and nearly spins altogether. Sishan Gunasekara is going to drive round the outside of him, and the Sri Lankan gets through. What a squabble. Now there's big defensive tactics coming again from Sishan Gunasekara as Riley Curry and Andy Burrett are going to try and take him on. Gunasekara holding his nerves here. Down the drop, and the Sri Lankan, Gunasekara, in front of Riley Curry, the Australian, and Andy Burrett from Thailand. Meanwhile, further up the road, still battles galore. Machado is 4/10 of a second clear of Vrykal, who in turn is a 1.5 seconds ahead of Moran Kramers, who in turn is over 2 seconds clear of Travis Teoh and Teoh. There are the 2 leaders, Machado versus Vrykal. And it's the Andorran ahead of the Malaysian with Moran Kramers in the background. And we've got a lap and a half of this still to go. Vrykal has tried his best to close up on Machado, but try as he might, he can't stay with the Andorran. Machado looks like he's going to get 3 wins out of 3, and this would be a lovely return for the investment. Machado coming over to Asia to assist the team in the INFINITY IAME Series Asia, and he's been given an open ticket opportunity to go for the victory in the IAME Asia Pacific Games Senior X30 final, and that will buy him a seat in the IWF 2026. 1 lap to go. Still got a bit of work to pull off here from the contenders in the field. And here is the move from Travis Teoh and Teoh, who seem to have settled their differences for the moment. Certainly for Alex Machado, this is exactly the way he wanted today to conclude. Ambrose, Garrow, and Kamal all still being held up by Putra Adam, who is in big defensive mode. And look at that, Machado has actually pulled well clear of Vrykal. So Machado putting a second on Zadia Vrykal in the closing stages. Kramers third, Teoh, and now the battle for P6 as Putra Adam again blocks the inside line. Again, Ambrose tries to get underneath him and cover the line, but Putra Adam just will not let Ambrose through. He won't even give him any space to play with. So out in front, Alex Machado is going to come through for the domination. He won his first heat, he won his second heat, and now he will be the undisputed king of Senior X30 so far. Alex Machado, 3 wins out of 3 for the Andorran. Second for Vrykal, Third for Moran Kramers after a gutsy, determined drive from the former European champion. Teoh in front of Cito, Adam, and a very unhappy Jamie Ambrose. Well, Alex Machado has proven that he's not just here to make up numbers. He's not just here to put on a show. He wants to win, and he is determined to get that IWF ticket, which he'll have a full 6 months of work to prepare for, 8 months of work, in fact, from now until October. But certainly it's a great opportunity for the Andorran star. Don't forget, folks, we've got free popcorn and free cotton candy on offer courtesy of Kinex down in the merchandising booth, where, of course, you can get all your top-graded Yami looks. There's plenty of vibes on there on offer. I already have a collection of 16 out of 17 cool shirts. I'm still missing that eponymous one. I need to go and get it. But a fantastic trio of victories over the weekend for the Andorran Alex Machado. Really stellar performance from the DRM driver. That's 3 races and 3 victories. And this one didn't even look in doubt at any point at all. So he really is making hay while the sun shines, the Paralympic star from Andorra. Looking very comfortable.